Hello, it's Libby from libbystamps.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today we're going to make this box that you can fill with chocolates or any other sort of gift. Would look lovely with a beautiful scarf inside, ready for Mother's Day or another occasion. So we'll get started, and you need a piece of card which is 10 3/4 that way by the width of your cardstock, which is roughly 8 1/4. All right, now I've pre-scored mine, so you're going to score here at 1 3/4, 5 1/4, 6 7/8, and 10 1/4, and that will give you your little tab. Then what you need to do is, just before we go on, you'll cut a strip off about that wide when you do your 10 3/4. Don't throw it away, we're going to use it again later. All right, so when you've scored those ones, so just again 1 3/4, 5 1/4, 6 7/8, and 10 1/4. Then you're going to turn it, and you're going to score at 7 and 1 11/16. All right, so you've got your scores done. So on this end, you're going to cut up where the score is and indent it on both sides so you've got your tab. Then you'll cut up each and every single one of these so that you've got the means to make your box. All right, now if I look at the long end here, if I look at this end here, this one here next to the tab, I'm going to trim off to so that the length of that is only 1 1/8, and to do that I'm going to put it in my scorer, in my trimmer, and I fold the other edges back because I'm probably going to cut them off by mistake. And what I've done to make it easy is I've lined that top edge of the tab up with the rung on my trimmer. I've lined this score line up with 1 1/8, and then I'm going to trim that bit off. So I've got one that's just a little bit shorter than the others. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is get rid of the trimmer because we don't need that anymore. And we're going to use our angled tag topper punch. Now, I haven't used this punch much. I've used the scallop tag topper punch, but I thought for today we'd use this one. So we're going to put this next one, so you've got, so it's the large one next to the end short one. We're going to squeeze that in through our punch. And remember, because that bit's wider than 2 inches, you're going to meet up with a little bit of resistance. So just continue pushing it through. Sometimes if I'm not doing a video, I use my body to hold the punch, just as an extra bit of hand. And try and see if you can get it fairly equidistant each side when you look at them there. I don't know if you can see that, so you've got a bit there and a bit there that's equidistant, and then I'm going to punch down. All right, and that's all we need that punch for, and that punch is in the Occasions catalogue, and it's 133324, and it's a great punch. Oops, no, wrong one. 133323, and it's $39.95 Australian dollars. great punch, marvellous for tags and all sorts of other things, and I just thought I'd use it today for this box. All right, so putting that aside, okay, we're going to get our trimmer back, and we're not going to trim, we're going to score. So I'm going to move my trimming blade right out of the way, and all I'm going to do is line up the bottom of these tags. Now I'm hoping you can see that. I'll see if I can zoom in a bit. So can you see how here I've got where the tag has punched out, lined up there with my trimmer, with the trimmer blade, and we are going to trim just up to where you feel a hole, lift up and trim to just where you feel a hole. Alright, and then that's trimmed those two little bits off. So you've ended up with that. Now I've got to work out, this is a new camera, so my apologies. So we've got those now. Alright, so we've done all that. Alright, we might just get our bone folder, get rid of these other little bits, and we need to score all these up, and you'll see why in a minute, because we're going to put this all through our big shot. Now I can hear you saying she's got rocks in her head, it's not going to fit, but that's why we're scoring all these. So score them well. Alright, now on the panel that you've punched for the tag, we're going to use one of the Apothecary framelits, which I've just temporarily lost. Here we are, the Apothecary framelit, and we're using this one. Now you could use any that you want. You just need to adjust the size of the box and the size of the window sheet that you use. Alright, so we're going to pop it down so that it's equidistant here. Maybe if I do these scores, you'll be able to see a little bit better. So if I just do these two scores here, you'll be able to see where I'm placing it. Alright, so I'm going to place it down about there. Now really you could place it anywhere on this panel, but I've chosen to place it a little bit lower on the panel, or we could go for the middle today. I'll go for the middle roughly, so it really doesn't matter, but I'm hoping you can see. Let's try this zoom again. Can you see how that's about roughly equidistant? No, you can't, so I'll zoom back out. I'll get the hang of this one of these days. Alright, so you've got approximately the same amount of room on each side of the score line. Now I've shown you that, and I'm going to have to move it so I can bring my big shot across. And I'm using the magnetic platform, of course, today on my big shot. Love the magnetic platform. Just great for placement of things. All right, now this is where your scoring comes in handy, because all these tabs have to fold over, including the ones where you're going to place the framelit. Now I'm pushing that through further because you don't have to have all of it going through. Alright, now I'm about happy with that, so I'm going to close these bits up very carefully, and these bits. Yes, another set of hands would be handy. And then I find if you wipe the top plate across, so to speak, and place it on. Now, even though that's sprung up, it still stayed in place. And I'm going to roll it on through my big shot. And I've just bought new plates for my big shot, and they're wonderful. You might hear a click, but they seem to be working without that huge clunk that you used to hear. Alright, so I'll just put all that to one side again so that you can see what I'm doing. And we can see that the framelit has punched out that hole. Alright, don't throw that away, you can use it for a tag or something at a later stage. Alright, so now previously I've cut out a piece of window sheet that is 5 across by 3, and I just need to get out my paper piercer. And I don't know if I've shared this tip with you before. They're very sharp and they come with a little rubber protective piece which I take off and then put back in a tube so it doesn't get lost. Alright, now I'm using sticky strip because I want this to stick securely all around my window. Now it doesn't have to be as big as I've made it. I just made it that big for I don't know what reason today. Anyway, so I'm going to remove the sticky strip, and as I said, you need it all the way around because you don't want anything falling out. If you were just going to put something like a scarf in there, you could just do the 2 long sides. But if you're putting chocolates in it or anything else similar to that, Smarties, you do need to put it all the way around. There's always one piece that doesn't want to come off. Alright, and then we're just going to stick that over the top like that. Alright, now here's where your bone folder comes back in handy. So we're going to crease on the lines again, and this time you need to give it a really, really, really good thorough crease because you're creasing through the window sheet as well. Alright, I'm going to turn it around and score these ones because we didn't do them before. And then this last one that went through the big shot and has the window sheet on the backing. And when you do it, just when you do your scores, just make sure your edges are nice and straight down the bottom too. Alright, so a good score across. Alright, now because this is the front of my box, this is the one I'm going to put my sticky strip on because it'll face the back of the box when it's all put together. So you're just going to put, I'm just doing this in a bit of a hurry today because of the video. It snips. Alright, we're going to put sticky strip on this panel too. So on the right side of the tab we're putting sticky strip, and on the wrong side of the other piece we're putting sticky strip. Alright, so on the right side here, so you can't see where that window sheet's joined on, and we're going to do this bit first. So just use your paper piercer to get it started. It's a bit cooler here today, so sometimes sticky strip doesn't want to get started and you need to give it a bit of a hand by giving it a rub. Alright, now fold that tab down, and then this edge will fold right across. Alright, I just having a bit of trouble here today because of the window sheet, I think, but I try to make my boxes so that they fold properly. Alright, so there we go, down and down. Alright, then we're going to take the red liner off where you put it on the inside of the back of the front panel. Yeah, it's not cooperating today at all. Must know I'm in a hurry, I think. Alright, so we're taking off the back of the front panel and we're just going to stick all that down. So the two ends go in first, then the back, and then we're putting the front on because that's where you've got your sticky strip. And just make sure you've got it all squared up. Alright, now when you do your other piece, and Elizabeth's just made a huge gaff here. Alright, don't cut this bit off because that's going to be your tab. Anyway, you can stick that in and there you've got your box. What I've done on this one, I didn't trim that bit off before that I showed you. That must have been prototype one. So I'll just take this out. So on the two large panels, use your angled tag topper punch. Alright, so you can see that. So you can use the angled tag topper punch on the two large panels. Fold your two small ones in, and then you're bringing these in, you're actually creasing them down, pushing them down to tie ribbon through them. Alright, now for the flowers, I said you're going to use this strawberry slush left over, so don't waste anything, and we're going to just use our strawberry slush ink, and we're just going to stamp a few of these on on this strip of paper that we had left over. And I like to work in threes. One I've gone off a bit. Alright, close that up, I don't need that anymore. And I'm going to get my Petite Petals punch, and I'm going to punch them out. Alright, and then I've got a piece of pistachio pudding that I'm going to punch out as well for leaves. So finished with that. Now with my bone folder, I'm just going to gently curl these leaves around a bit. And see that, so that they've got a bit of dimension. So do that to all three of them. Alright, then we need our pearls. Alright, so we've got our basic jewels pearls, and I'm going to use the largest ones. Just lift them off with my paper piercer. Put them in the centre. 3. Alright, then I'm going to get some dimensionals and put a dimensional on the back of each one of them. Alright, now with my green one that I've punched out, I think I showed you this trick the other day. You can just cut 2 leaves, and then you can cut 1, and you've still got 2 left. So then you've got leaves for your flowers. So I'll take the backing off one, turn it over so you can see what you're doing, and I like to put my leaves a bit off centre. Alright, so there's one, you can see the leaves there. I'll put that on my box. Alright, 2. Sorry about that noise in the background. My lapbook's closed, but obviously I forgot to shut it down. So then that's how I've used my single leaf, and I might put that there. And then I've got my last one. I'll put that there. You can overlap your flowers a little bit, but there's your box. So, thanks for watching. Pop back again next Friday for another video from Libby Stamps. Bye for now.